My name is Norman Huynh. I am the conductor this week for the Princess Kalyani Watana Youth Orchestra, and I'm really excited to tell you about this program that is all about George Gershwin. Gershwin is an American composer, actually one of the first composers who sort of put jazz music into the classical music and fused the two styles together. Jazz back in the 1920s was seen as sort of this kind of music that was only in restaurants, bars, sort of like a low level, and classical music was up here. And Gershwin, with these three pieces that we're going to play, Cuban Overture, Porgy and Bess, and An American in Paris, show how jazz and classical music can be put together. The first piece, Cuban Overture, came after Gershwin had a visit to Cuba, and he incorporated all of these Cuban instruments like the güiro, the claves, the maracas, and the bongos to create this really cool rhythm like, you know, and all of these really cool funky beats to create this Latin rumba that's the traditional style of Cuba. And what Gershwin did with classical music, so he had the Cuban music, and also the classical part of that is the musical form of the piece. And what I mean by form is ternary form. We have an A section, a B section, and then the A section again. The first section is very fast and upbeat, and the B section is a little more lyrical, very folk-like singing songs, and we come back to the fast section again. The next piece, Porgy and Bess, is a medley, a symphonic picture of Gershwin's opera Porgy and Bess. And this kind of music is a folk opera using a lot of melodies from southern United States, Mississippi, New Orleans, Alabama. And this is a medley where, what I mean by medley is the combination of all of different parts of the opera put into one piece. It's about 20 minutes long, and you can hear a lot of the beautiful melodies and exciting rhythms that go on in that. The last piece on the program is An American in Paris. An American in Paris is the true symphonic tone poem that Gershwin used to really capture the fusion between jazz and classical music. There are a lot of orchestral colors, combinations of instruments, and also the musical form like we talked about. This piece is also in an A-B-A section. And what Gershwin said, this piece was after a visit from his time in Paris, and the opening of the piece is sort of this walking yum bum bum yum bum bum yum bum bum dee da 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 da, and you start hearing these taxi horns and bop 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 bop, all of this crazy stuff going on that depicts the capital of the busiest part of Paris. And it's sort of like my time in Bangkok, you know, I'm walking around MBK and all of this stuff is going on crazy, woo! So it sort of has that. And in the B section, the middle part of this piece is the Americans sort of thinking about home, being homesick, missing home, and it's a little more bluesy, and there's a big trumpet solo, and sort of thinks about that time back in America. And then he wakes up from that dream, and he realizes he's back on the streets in Paris, and everything is crazy again. And so we've had so much fun this week working with these three pieces, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. And thank you so much.